Christopher Clark. I'm the town administrator here in the town of Harwich. I just want to welcome the members of the Seaport Council, the members of the general public, and other visitors who have decided to join us this afternoon. It's a great project that we have. I just wanted to give a quick overview, and then I'll be emceeing the program. We'll invite several speakers up, but the main part of this is not just to have speaking, but to also do a tour. The town did this project over about 2.5 years. We ended up with about $11 million in total cost, $7 million to do the water side. $1 million of that came from the Seaport Council. And then on the land side, what you see, the snack shack and the harbor master's office, was about $4 million with $1 million in grants. I think it's important that, this really is about partnership. We had a lot of people that were interested in this, but one of the things, I've been in government for a long time, and if you can't get the project done, it doesn't make sense. So we were able to present to town meeting on 2 occasions, both projects. Town meeting supported it in both times. We then went to the ballot, both were debt excluded, and the debt exclusions both passed. And I think in large part because people saw that partnership with the state, that funds were coming. So I do want to just acknowledge, while I'm here, several members of the Board of Selectmen are joining us today. Larry Ballantyne is on the speaker program, so maybe if Larry can wave. I saw Ed McManus, a member of the Board of Selectmen. I think I saw Michael McCaskill, also a member of the Board of Selectmen. And I don't know if I'm missing Steve Ford. Seemed like he was hobbled a little bit, so he may not be joining us down here, but he was here earlier. So we have nice weather, so thankfully the rains hold off. And what I'd like to do is now invite Lieutenant Governor Polito to get us started and have some opening remarks and comments. Okay.
Because then I get to introduce her.
Sarah Peak, State Representative.
Perfect. Chris, thank you, and welcome to everybody. And what a great project. I mean, this is transformative. The Lieutenant Governor and I were here with a few members of the Seaport Economic Council maybe 3 years ago, I think it was. We'd been over in Chatham to look at some of the great projects that the Seaport Economic Council had funded there. It was an upweller and harborside improvements there. And then we came here trying to envision what all of this would look like. And I'll tell you, my reaction when I got out of my car and I walked up here is that the Seaport Economic Council is appropriately named, because you talk about this being a hotbed and a center now for economic activity and revitalized economic activity. It is here and plain for all of us to see, whether it's on the shore side here with a combination of recreational and commercial boats. There's ferry service that runs out of here over to Nantucket, and now on the shore side with the snack shack. I see the harbor master here. Do you like your new digs? They look pretty good to me. I don't know, but looks pretty great. And then these shacks that are. Oh, there he is over there. There he is. I got the wrong town. I'm looking at Chatham's harbor master. There we go.
I'll take credit for that.
All right. So do you like your new digs? Yeah. Okay. And then these shacks that are here that offer retail outlets, which we've seen in community after community, whether it's down in Hyannis, where they first tried this experiment, the shacks on Macmillan Pier in Provincetown, they are small economic incubators, and many of these people will go on to a bricks and mortar retail store and find economic success in that way. Of course, the other thought I had when I got out of the car is, wow, all these people are here. It must be because our star and our good friend, the Lieutenant Governor, is visiting. And let me tell you, our communities have no better friend in state government than Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito. She's been to all 351 cities and towns, many of them many times over. I know the communities in my district. I think all of them you have been to multiple times. I don't know when you're ever home, but you're not just here to do FaceTime. You're here because you care about these communities. You listen, you bring back what you learn, and you take that back to Boston, and it turns into real results like we're seeing with our very own eyes today. I had the privilege to serve with the Lieutenant Governor when she was a state rep. We sat just down a few seats down the row from each other in the 2nd Division in the Massachusetts House. So I feel fortunate that I started sort of with a leg up with a relationship with her when she got elected Lieutenant Governor. But she has done such a great job. She's become an even better friend, and more importantly, she's become a friend to each of the communities in my district, and for that, I am so, so grateful I cannot put into words. So with no further ado, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be able to continue to work with you. You do an amazing job bringing voice to not only your district that you represent by geography, but for the Cape and Islands region. Do a tremendous job. Bring your commitment, your effort, your reasonableness to getting things done. That's why I love working with you. I want to thank Chris and the entire team in the community for your leadership. Projects like this require a lot of thinking, a lot of visioning, a lot of public input. These don't happen quickly, it takes time, and I know this took time and it was well worth it. Congratulations to all of you for seeing the value of this coastal infrastructure, the natural asset, the physical asset, and the responsibility that comes with that, the stewardship that you have as local officials, as community leaders, to protect it, to maintain it, to support it, and now to transform it into a really beautiful asset and an economic asset for your community, generating more tax dollars. More tax dollars into a municipality means that those dollars can be transitioned into more services to the families, to the individuals who live here today, who want to call it home in the future. And as you see the population increase profoundly in the seasonal months of the good weather, you have additional services that come with servicing that, public safety, emergency response, and otherwise. So what you generate here goes right back into all of that. So I just want to say congratulations for seeing that value and for helping us see it as well. And it was a real honor to partner with you on this project. I would like to do a couple of things. First of all, I have the honor of chairing the Seaport Economic Council. We talked about that word economic. When Governor Baker and I came into office, we wanted to reposition the Seaport Council, elevate it to the governor's office, to the executive office, and put that word economic in it. Because we wanted to make sure that we were using the council and the funds, capital funds that come from the state, because your tax dollars at work, that they would be used for an economic gain, an economic benefit for the community and the region where that asset sits. Rather than just thinking about one-off investments in projects and thinking them more about an investment in the economy, the investment in that community's economy, the regional economy, and the blue economy of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Now, 4+ years later, after that first executive order was signed, we first of all have a team of port professionals and Seaport Economic Council members. You are a member of the council and you are here. Please stand so everyone can put a name and a face together with you. Thank you. Our newest member is Ed Barrett. I'm going to ask you to stand a little bit longer. We changed the executive order this past year to add a commercial fishing voice to the council, and Ed Barrett is that voice for the commercial fishing industry of Massachusetts. So here's Ed if you have any issues with so thank you very much. Tim McGurthy, who is our Assistant Secretary of Economic Development, is the Assistant Director of the Council, and so we tie in the work of this council to our economic development plans for the Commonwealth. So it's at a high level, gets a lot of eyes on it, and we make sure that every dollar is invested back into you. And where is Ellen Sabula? Ellen is the director, so if you have any questions about the council, the work, or the application process, the round open now, the applications are due November 1st of this year. So there's a little bit of business and opportunity for all of you. Today we had a meeting in Harwich at the town hall, and we were able to grant almost $1.5 million in grants to Wareham, to the Onset Bathhouse, and to grants Eastham and Orleans to Rock Harbor. as examples of further investments that the council is making in our communities. Rock Harbor, a beautiful harbor known to the community here. With these investments, you'll be able to see more commercial fishing and other activity in that area. So why do we do this? Why is this important, right? I think you can physically see the attributes of this amazing project. I think the real reason why everyone is here is because there are pretty tasty fried clams over there. And maybe you'll all sample those on your way out the door. But you can see physically how important this is. But there's a couple of other reasons why these investments are important. First of all, you've been able to expand the use of this harbor, but what I wanted to highlight was public safety. When you have different uses within a harbor this size, you have commercial fishing, you have ferry, you have passengers that come in, you have people who are familiar with this harbor, and then you have new visitors that are coming into this harbor under all sorts of conditions that change pretty quickly around here. So being able to accommodate the public safety and emergency response features here is really important, and is really important to that harbor master right there. I also want to point out the resiliency that is built into this project. So everything around here had a resiliency feature installed in the project, so that when larger storms come as a result of climate change and being on the coastline here, that this will withstand some of those pressures. And being able to fortify the embankment there was really important to this community and to us. So the resiliency, the public safety, and of course the economic activity is real. I want to just close with what an honor it is to be able to serve. I started my service like Governor Baker as a local official. I started as a select woman in my hometown of Shrewsbury in central Massachusetts. And I learned then, and I continue to know now, that the community leaders, the people who wake up every day in their respective city or town, are the ones who really care deeply about what happens there. And so when we came into office 4+ years ago, we knew to grow a stronger Commonwealth of Massachusetts that we would do this through the cities and towns of this Commonwealth. It has been such a great honor for the governor and for me to be able to visit the communities of this Commonwealth. I have visited all 351, meeting with local officials and really understanding your hopes, your dreams, your vision, your plan, and how the state could be a better and more reliable partner. Today is an example of what that partnership is like and what's happening here in Massachusetts when you're planning for something. But I also want to acknowledge that when you have something that's not planned for, like the tornado that touched down here in June on the Cape during the height of your season, that was something not anticipated. But because of the relationships that we have and the trust and the ability to work together, we were literally able to hit the ground running with a work plan and emergency response to help restore a normalcy to the Cape, and literally send the message out over the news waves and airwaves that the Cape is open for business and ready to continue to serve renters and visitors and all of the tourists that come through this area. So that was just another benefit of having good, strong state and local relations and partnerships and the ability to work together and get stuff done. Finally, I just want to say we have an incredible state. I love this state. I'm honored to represent it, and I'm really honored to work with all of you. We are in still the height of the season here on the Cape, so let's continue to make sure that people know you're open for business. Literally have so much to offer here. Being someone who grew up during my summers on the Cape, and as the mother of 2 teenagers, visit often my family here to continue to also enjoy everything that the Cape offers. I just want to say thank you for caring so much, for working so hard for this community, and just know that will continue to have a good, strong, reliable partner with our legislative delegation and with the governor, with me and our entire team. God bless, have a great rest of the summer, and enjoy a great day.
Thank you so much. Don't go too far, we have the tour. A few more speakers, that's it. I'll invite Larry Ballantyne, the chair of the Board of Selectmen, to say a few words, and then the harbor master, and then we'll be off on the tour.
Thank you, Chris. A few years ago, Fox 25 News, you might know, they have a Friday morning program where they highlight a community, and they had our meeting in their program from Red River Beach. They interviewed one fellow who was extolling the virtues of Harwich, how great our people were, how great the facilities were, and he just loved everything about it. And he said the location was perfect. You could easily get to Provincetown, and you could get to Hyannis if you have to. Now, if you live here, you recognize that was funny because he said that as a fact, not as a joke. I think based on this process, we may become the destination from Provincetown to Hyannis. I've heard that our revenues are up from Harbor Master and the transient business. The Snack Shack provides another destination along with the neighboring restaurant Brax. And so this has become a great economic destination for our area of the Cape, and we greatly appreciate it. Just one comment, I see people in the crowd that were part of our public outreach and our committee that really, along with our harbor master and the selectmen through the years, really pushed the design of this to make this happen. And to sell this at town meeting, which, as you know, it's never easy to sell an expensive project like this. But you can see the results of that. Finally, I think, as we all allude to, the partnerships we have between the local community with our state, just amazing. You point to this process, you point to the tornado, wastewater issues, just keep working together, and we'll just continue to grow. So thanks again for all of you coming.
Thank you very much, Larry. I'd like to invite John Rendon, the harbor master.
I can't go off the cuff like many of you can, so I'm gonna.
I shouldn't either, clearly, because I didn't recognize you.
Just Lieutenant Governor, Representative Peak, our Board of Selectmen who are here, council members.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Council members, distinguished guests, and friends of Harwich Harbors. With the completion of these two major projects here, we have improved the safety of navigation within our harbor with dredging 18,000 cubic yards of material. We have reconfigured and replaced the dock system and services, bringing the marina into compliance with federal and state accessibility requirements. And we have modernized and expanded our landside facilities that are resilient towards sea level rise, that provide improved pedestrian safety and handicap accessibility, that clearly have sparked economic growth, and importantly have made Saquatucket Municipal Marina a more attractive and vibrant destination to a broader spectrum of our community. Completion of this full scope of these two projects would not have been possible without the financial support of the Mass Seaport Economic Council. So thank you very much, Lieutenant Governor, and to all the Seaport members. Thank you. Projects of this magnitude require the support and expertise of so many of our town officials and departments. So I sincerely thank the Board of Selectmen, Town Administrator, and all my fellow department heads, department staffs, and regulatory boards in helping to move these projects forward. I especially want to thank my Harbor Master Department staff for putting up with me during some frustrating times and for working right alongside me throughout the process. A special thanks to members of the Saquatucket Development Committee and the Waterways Committee, volunteers who devoted a great deal of time and energy working in support of these projects. I think everybody can see when you walk around the quality of engineering detail and workmanship that went into these two projects. We are extremely fortunate to have had such skilled and professional engineers and construction contractors who were responsive, timely, flexible, and a real pleasure to work with. Both of these two major projects had to be completed without impacting our boating season. A real challenge that required them to deal with the winter elements with little to no room for error or delay.
we have those contractors here. I'd just like to take a moment to recognize GEI Consulting was the engineer for the Waterside project. Kevin Barushin is here in the audience with us. BTT Marine Construction Company out of East Boston. They were the construction contractor for the docks. Did a terrific job. And I know he's working for the city of New Bedford now, but Caesar was the project manager during this whole project, and you did a fantastic job, and it was great to work with you, so thank you. And on the Landside project, Tim Sawyer from Brown, Linquist, Finuccio, and Raber, I think he is now the president of the firm. He was the primary architect for the Landside project. Thank you, Tim, for being here. And Eastward Companies out of Chatham was the contractor for the construction of our Landside, this boardwalk, the beautiful buildings, everything you see here. I know Mr. Marsh is here, Dan Buckley is here, and I'd like to especially thank Lisa Norcross, who was the project manager throughout. Real pleasure to work with you, so thank you. So clearly this revitalization of our beautiful municipal marina has been a major investment by the town. So in closing, I just want to thank our Harwich taxpayers for your support and trust in the Harbor Master Department. Your investment in one of the town's most valued resources will certainly pay dividends in the years to come. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John. I just have two quick things and I'll be done. I wanted to thank the Lieutenant Governor. When she initially came out, she goes, I want to go on the docks. I want to see what the docks look like. I said, well, I don't know if you want to do that or not. She goes, no, I want to go. So she goes walking out and she started leading the way, and I thought she was going to fall in. So I'm like, oh, geez, I hope she doesn't fall in. That won't be a good image for Harwich. She didn't, and she helped us. But the other one, and this is this kind of touches my heart a little bit. We had a managers meeting down here, and actually we sat at that table right there, and there was about 10 to 12 women, and they were sitting next to us. And they said, do you mind if we interrupt you? And we said, sure, please interrupt us. They go, we're from all over. We're from New Jersey to, I believe, up to Maine. And they go, we can't think of a better gem than what you guys have built here. And to me, being a public servant and doing all the work, and, together in a partnership and delivering on something that 10 visitors came and immediately recognized the quality of what we all did. And that was nice that they went out of their way. They didn't have to do that. So on that note, I'd like to encourage John to put his hand up, and we'll start the tour. Whoever wants to take us around, he will bring us out on the piers, and much safer this time. So, thank you very much.